All right. I think we are live.
Okay.
Oh, great. Okay, it's been. So, we have a very special guest today on this channel. Rafael, I wanted to talk to you for a very long time, ever since heard your story of blockchain cruise and then traveling the entire world with just one Bitcoin. You bought just this one Bitcoin last year, and then you started your traveling around the world. You met different crypto communities around the globe in different cities. Like I want to first know that what all the cities that you went to, and what really happened on the blockchain cruise, because this was something that I was looking forward to attend, but I couldn't. So there's just so much to talk to you about.
Well, I'm here to talk, absolutely, and thank you for having me on your
Thank you.
show. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Rafael, would you let me just see if people can hear us, and then we start. All right, so some people joining us. Guys, can you hear me? Hello, Rafael, Kumar Gaur, Ramesh. Guys, can you let me know if... Some people joining us. Guys, can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear clear. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Gaurav. We have Ramesh, Gaurav. Rafael, once again, welcome to this channel, and I'm so eager to hear your story.
Certainly.
Let's begin by a small introduction of yours.
Certainly. Well, my name is Raphael Hawksley. I traveled the whole world, 18 countries over 12 months on just one Bitcoin. I didn't think I could do it, and I ran out of Bitcoin the last 4 days, which were what I call fasting. Other people might call it starving, but for me it was a diet. But along the way there were incredible journeys, amazing adventures certainly, and most importantly, the people that I met along the way, all sorts of races, creeds, cultures, orientations, religions. Everyone in the crypto community had something to share, something to say, and was an absolutely positive impact on my life. I started the journey August 11th of last year, and I finished August 11th of this year, so about a month ago or so. And I'm still recovering, but overall, it was an absolutely incredible experience. And the one thing I learned, just as a spoiler for everything else, but a theme that I learned is that crypto will set us free.
That's for sure. Tell me something, when you thought of this idea of just buying one Bitcoin and traveling. There are two things. I mean, you can also buy a Bitcoin and choose to, live the entire year with one Bitcoin in one country, right? That's one thing. But thinking of living on one Bitcoin and then traveling around, that's a lot of expense, right? So at any point in time, did you ever fear that, oh my God, how am I going to do that? And, things like that. And first of all, how did that idea came into your mind to do something like that? This is crazy, okay? This is very crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Where I'll share with you the answers. The first one, how was I inspired to do it? And I was inspired to do this because last year, I'm a bit of a crypto latecomer, right? Last year, I came to crypto in Portland, Oregon. That's where I've lived the majority of my life, on the West Coast, about 3 hours south of Seattle, Washington, and about 18 hours north of Los Angeles. So, but on the West Coast, Portland, Oregon, great community full of hipsters. If you can see me, you can tell that I have a beard and I used to have a man bun, the whole nine, right? Love my microbrews. Anyway, over there, they also loved cryptocurrencies. They were quite big proponents of it. We had meetups dedicated to BTC, to ETH, to EOS, many different types of meetups. And when I went to them, each of them, I discovered that the community was full of people, and still is full of people, who were genuine. Some of them were anarchists and passionately believed. Others were very new to crypto, but all of them shared a passion for being financially free. And so that inspired me to ask the question, is it like that around the whole world? Not just in one country, as you mentioned, like I could have just gone and lived just in China or just in India, and I certainly would have discovered amazing things, but I wanted to know, is it like this around the whole world? And And sure enough, it is. And the one BTC challenge, it came about because I was inspired by the volatility. I thought it would be very, very exciting and stressful and stressful to live each country, each week, each day, wondering how much my BTC will get to me.
Man, you're talking about volatility. This is the craziest thing, okay? So what I understand is when you bought it maybe around $4,000 or $3,500. In December, you were on a journey of 1 year. So that includes November and December. That's like $19,000, right? And then all of a sudden from January, February, you're talking about almost 3 times loss in the price, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever thought of selling your Bitcoin in the month of November and December when it was like all time high and said, I think this is the best
Absolutely.
way I can actually, make the most out of it. And then there is no problem. I can still travel the world and maybe save some money after the end of it.
Oh yeah, no, those were amusing times to say the least. Very amusing, just because when I bought Bitcoin, I bought it for $3,480 around there for one. And of course, at that time, everyone, including myself, was saying, living 1 year off 3.5 grand, that's just stupid. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just a plane ticket, the plane ticket to China. I mean, I got it at a great sale. It was a great price. It was like $700 from what I remember. But I was just stupid crazy to do something like that. And I said, no, volatility is going to change everything. And sure enough, it did. In November, I started to get very excited. In December, I was making jokes that on the one BTC, it would keep going up. So I would be traveling forever. There would be no stop to this dog. I forget 1 year, I was going to retire traveling, and I would go to 50,000, 100,000. Like John McAfee predicted, it would be $1 million. So I would be just traveling on that one BTC for the rest of my life. It would be great. I was popping champagne. I remember, when it hit 15,000, I definitely bought myself a nice little bottle of champagne and celebrated with some Bitcoiners. It was hilarious. And I was tempted, to answer your question, I was very tempted at that time to cash out the rest of it. I think I had maybe zero point 0.7 BTC left at that point, right? Zero point 0.6, zero point 0.7. So that was definitely around 14, 15 grand that I had. And that's easy. I can make the next 7, 8 months on that kind of money, travel hacking the way that I was. But that's where the crypto community stepped in again and helped me again. And they helped me be humble, because during that time when I was traveling, I went to a few crypto meetups in all places. In December, I was in Taiwan at the time, in Taipei, and I met with people there. And there was one guy I especially remember, Derek. He was already a crypto veteran. He had been around the block. He'd been there during the 2013 rise in price and subsequent crash. And he told me, you know what, it's not going to keep going up forever. So if you want to cash out right now, do it. Go for it, cash out. But
Uh,
he cautioned me, but your documentary will not be the same. It will be. You're going to be one of those people who, either through luck or through meeting the right voice, suggested that you cash out. You won't be like everyone who rode it through, who hodled. So he kept me humble, and he said, you know what? Cash out a little bit, at least to get you through maybe a month, but keep the rest and find out what it's like, the emotional roller coaster of Bitcoin, of crypto. Get on that roller coaster, stay on that roller coaster, have that crazy journey like I did in 2013, and report about it. So that's what I did.
Man, I'm so excited about this because this is something that I want to share. This is one of my thing. As this channel grows up a little bit, that's one of my plan to travel all around the world. Okay, because it's so much fun going to different countries and meeting the like-minded people and sharing this idea of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. This is so amazing. So this is one of my plan. This is my bucket list. Okay, now, and you mentioned John McAfee. And that brings me to blockchain cruise. You were on the blockchain cruise. That was like 4 days or 3 days?
4 days, yeah, this time, yeah.
4 days. I do want to talk about the blockchain cruise because, you know, I watched. So I watched Omar Bam, right? He did a blog, and I watched you in that vlog, and the whole blockchain cruise was so fascinating. Like I just wanted to be there. Uh, so yeah, I think you met a lot of people like John McAfee and Roger Ver and Ivan on Tech and Box Mining and other guys. I will come to that, but let's start about your journey itself. So what all country did you travel? Because you also mentioned you were in Delhi, and
Yeah.
you were not in Mumbai. Otherwise, we would have met. I'm sure, but you were in Delhi. So, which country did you started, and how did your travel look like? I'm just gonna
Right.
switch off the fan for a minute.
Oh, sure. Out of
Yeah, yeah.
curiosity, what's the temperature over there like right now?
Oh, it's around 30 degree. I have the air conditioned on. You can't live without air condition here.
No, no, you can't. Yeah,
You've
I
been there.
remember
You've experienced it already.
exactly. Exactly. That's why when you turned off the fan, I instantly knew. Yep, yep. I
Yeah.
remembered my days with just the fan on because I could never afford a place with AC in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was hardcore travel hacking then, and I
I
couldn't afford it.
I
So
agree that, and it's expensive. Okay, that air conditioned room, they have a different rates altogether in India.
yeah,
And when you're talking about traveling with one Bitcoin for 1 year, my God, you can't even think of that.
no, no, no. Yeah, I mean it was just so hot that I didn't fall asleep until like 2, 3 a.m. and then just sleep the next day. But anyhow,
Yeah.
so the journey, I flew out of Portland, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I flew out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to China by Beijing first because they were about to have their Communist Congress. So I wanted to see how that would affect the crypto community. And I can certainly get back to that because that was fascinating. But to continue, it was Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, then over to Taiwan, okay, a little bit in that area. Then flew over to Myanmar. That was an absolutely fascinating country simply because their government has demonetized and taken the citizens' money overnight. So they do not trust the government. They do not trust banks. They love crypto,
It,
absolutely love it, but they
it,
have
is that
mega problems with it.
what country did you mention? Which country is this?
Myanmar,
Myanmar. Oh.
Myanmar, Burma,
Mm-hmm.
over there, just west of Thailand,
Hmm.
right? So Myanmar, and then it was Thailand, Singapore, Cambodia, then over to India,
Hmm.
and Ethiopia, Egypt, and then Western Europe.
Wow. Wow. So was it most of them were flights or how?
Uh, Most of the traveling was by bus and by train, certainly inland. Of course, traveling across the ocean,
Was flights? Okay.
riding my bike,
Hmm.
yeah, that was flights.
Hmm.
But yeah, most of it was just as much public transport as I could get, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's a good way also to explore the locals. You know, when you want to go in a city or a country, the whole idea is if you stay in go to the country and you stay in a 5-star hotel, it's almost like your country. I mean, what did you see? You know,
And what do you see exactly? Right.
it's just like going from one JW Marriott to another JW Marriott,
Right.
right?
Right. You don't see anything.
Yeah, you didn't explore the place. So I think that is something that's amazing. You know, I do want to talk about the blockchain cruise, but before that, let's talk about your documentary, Rafael.
Sure.
So you are the whole idea is I think I saw the trailer. Okay.
Mm.
And okay, we have some people. So we have Andy. What's up, Andy? Let me just say hi to everyone. Andy, Gaurav. Yeah, if you have any questions, please put that in the chat box. Andy has seen the Omar videos. Yeah, I think I have also seen the Omar videos. Yeah, he was great. I think his speech was very inspiring at the end. I'm not sure whether you've seen that. Um,
Thanks, guys.
Ask, does he use Twitter? Do you use Twitter?
I'm on it, but only to automatically post to it. I don't actually use it
Uh-huh.
regularly. I know I should, I know I should.
But you're on Instagram. You have some cool pictures there. I saw most of your pictures. I saw the different countries that you've been to. So yeah, just follow I think the Bitcoin Traveler, right, on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. But the best following would be on YouTube because I plan to post videos each day now.
Oh, you have a channel? I didn't know about it.
Yeah, the same one that the trailer is on.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. I saw it on the website. Okay, yeah, got it. Right. Great. So Deepak says, I'm so excited to know how did he manage all these things in a BTC. Foods and locals are very important. Where is he now? Where are you now?
Krakow in Poland.
So you're back home.
Kind of. I mean, this isn't my home for 20 something years, but I have some aunts and uncles here. I have some cousins, and it's very nice to get back in touch with them. And when I grow up, so if no one knows the story, I was born in Poland, but I immigrated when I was 5 years old. So during that whole rest of my life, through 20 something years, I wasn't really able to be in touch with family, and I missed that. So now I'm back in Poland, and it benefits that it's cheaper here.
Yeah, and of course you are originally from then US. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's talk about the blockchain cruise. Whom all did you meet? What really happened on the blockchain cruise?
What really happened?
Okay, when is the documentary coming out? Before that?
Well, hopefully the documentary will come out by the end of this year. That's the hope. That's the goal. We have 178 hours of footage to chew through, so huge amounts of footage. And unfortunately, during that time, getting it edited and put together, we have to put bread and butter on the table, maybe occasional beer.
Yeah.
So that actually depends on donations. It depends on how many donations we get and sponsorships we might be able to wrangle, because otherwise, we just need to get back to our normal day-to-day jobs. And that, of course, cuts into our editing time. But long story short, hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah, so the website is the Bitcoin Traveler, the bitcoinaroundtheworld.com.
Yeah, bitcoinaroundtheworld.com. That's the website.
All right, guys.
That has a trailer on it, and that has a few pictures and presentations and whatnot on it as well.
Yeah.
And, I plan to post more, especially how I did it on one BTC.
All right.
Because I find that people are shocked that I was able to do that on one BTC.
Yeah.
They think that's not enough money to do it. But the one thing that most people don't realize is that you can travel the world. It just depends on what you're willing to sacrifice.
True, very true.
Right? Because you can have three things. You can have cheap, you can have comfort, or you can have speed. And you can only choose two of those three. You can only choose two. So you can have something very comfortable and fast, but you can't have it quickly or in a good location. That was my third thing, was location, not cheap, but location. Or you can have a great location and cheap, but it won't be comfortable.
Correct.
Those kinds of things. So the vast majority of my journey was not comfortable. It was sleeping on living room floors of couch surfers or of crypto enthusiasts. It was taking buses, like I'm sure you've taken buses in India. And
Terrible, yeah.
One of the most incredible, and I'll say that with air quotes, bus journeys was in India, because I took an overnight bus. I couldn't sit down, I could only lay down. And when it went over the bumps in the roads, I was hitting my head on the ceiling. It bumped me up that high on the bump. So it was quite the journey, but it can be done, and I met some incredible people along the way.
Yeah, I think it's about the mindset, really. Once you prepare, you want to do something. The comfort or the pain becomes secondary, because it's all in our mind.
All in the mind.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I invite everyone to go ahead, check out bitcoinaroundtheworld.com, right? And you will see some donation addresses. So it would be great if you can donate some. Definitely check out his channel and the trailer on the documentary, and take a part in the donation if you can. Now,
I appreciate it very much.
let's talk about your blockchain cruise. So that was a 4 days cruise, right? Blockchain cruise.
Yeah. So let's see. What do you guys want to know about it that could be fascinating? Well, I
Of course,
talked to.
yeah. One of the, I think the fascinating thing that everyone was talking about was the debate.
Oh man. Yeah, the debates were great, especially sitting in the audience. It didn't matter if Roger Ver was there and Charlie Lee. You put them together in the same room, or anyone who's a Bitcoin maximalist along with Roger. I mean, the debates can get very animated.
Yeah.
Even the very first one that we had, where Bobby Lee was actually up on stage. That was the very first one that I remember having a little spice to it. And Bobby was up on stage and he was discussing Bitcoin. And then at the end during the Q&A section, Roger he was sitting a row behind me and to the right, and throughout Bobby Lee's entire presentation, I could just see the guy, Roger, itching to talk about something. He was ready to shoot right up with a microphone and begin spitting shade. So it was fantastic to see him jump up and grill these guys and they grill him back. There was certainly a lot of animation. It's fascinating, Roger. I talked to him too, and I get this impression from other people who have talked to him that he is the most calm, collected guy when you're talking to him about anything else besides Bitcoin Cash. As soon as you start talking about Bitcoin Cash, it's like Jekyll and Hyde, right? It's like Frankenstein and the scientist. You just see a completely different side of the man come out. And I respect his passion for that. I absolutely respect his passion. He believes in it 100%. And I wonder where Bitcoin Cash would be without him. Because without him, it might just be another altcoin. It might have a community, etc. But he is this fire that cannot be extinguished. It just keeps consuming. And it's pretty great. It's pretty great to see. But what else about the cruise? I mean, you hear like Omar, you heard on his channel talk about these Ukrainian ladies that were there walking around, and that's absolutely true. they were walking around, they were trying to converse, but at the same time they were also they looked like they felt out of place. Quite fascinating to see. It was like, have you guys ever seen, if you've gone maybe to a movie premiere, or you've gone to a theater or someplace where you rent DVDs and you see these cardboard cutouts of celebrities?
Yeah.
They're there so they look life-size and human, but they're cardboard, so they're not real. That's kind of what it was like on the cruise. I think that's why people were complaining, because you saw these amazingly attractive looking women walking around, but in their eyes and their facial expressions, there was no like personality there. They seemed distant. They seemed far away. They weren't sure why they were there. So it was
So were they their attendees, like they were attending the blockchain cruise just like us, or were they a part of the blockchain cruise management?
definitely part of the management, yeah.
Okay.
I mean management, what should I say? No, not management. They were being managed.
They were being managed by them. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were there, for example, on decks 4 and 5. There were a number of booths set up for ICOs and for other vendors. Ledger was there. A few others were there. I forget who, but they were there selling, giving away merch, giving away swag, and doing that general kind of thing. So they were kind of like that. They were just there to be eye candy, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
The funny thing about that, I met one guy on the cruise, and he was complaining a little bit. He was saying, "What's good of having eye candy if you can't unwrap it?"
Yeah, Andy says like sugars for attention. Rockhard says, Mr. Bitcoin Traveler, nice to see you. Please tell how can you convince Indian government the Bitcoin is better than traditional money and banking methods? Well, it's very difficult to convince a government because Bitcoin is basically a threat, isn't it? So until now, the government used to print money, and they were the only source of money. Now, all of a sudden, you have a source of money which is not in control by them. So obviously something that's not something that they would actually like. Talking about them, this was embarrassing. So Roger Ver, you spoke about Roger Ver. So yeah, the whole Bitcoin and versus Bitcoin Cash debate was very embarrassing. I know that both the parties were very passionate, but I know there would have been a better way of putting across your words instead of, because it doesn't leave a good impression for people who aren't a part of this whole system as yet. I mean, to them, it would like, what the mess is it? It's completely a mess. I am not getting into it. So they won't get the essence of it. So that was, what do you say? What do you have to say about that?
Well, what I have to say is actually a question for you, and that's, I see you definitely have an accurate description of it.
Yeah.
Right? That is creating a mess, and it's perhaps putting new people off of it a little bit. If they see all of this infighting happening in the crypto community, they don't know what to go for, which one is the real Bitcoin, then it puts them off. So I guess my question for you is, what have you seen in your time in crypto with specifically people who are new to crypto? What have you seen? Are they enthusiastic? Are they interested and then put off by all of the information? Or are they digging through the information and trying to get to the truth?
So I think there are really two categories, okay? The first one is, of course, everyone gets fascinated with the kind of money that we have into the space, right? The 1000x gain, 100x gain. That's basically the main motivation. That's when people start. Now, during their journey, some people actually discover the real use case and the real philosophy as to why does this exist and what is the way forward. And for them, this is very disappointing. Because for them it's like crypto versus the rest of the world. Okay, I think we lost you.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry about
that. No problem. So I think for them, it's like crypto versus rest of the world, okay? So all that they want is, okay, this is cryptocurrency, let's come together, let's find the good project and let's work together. I mean, for me, okay, if you ask me, do I like Bitcoin or do I like Bitcoin Cash? I like both, I like both as long as it's solving the purpose, right? And it's good to be passionate about your project, the ideology that you believe in. For me, the biggest scam is the fiat system. Isn't it the biggest scam? Because that's when you don't know why you're printing money. You're just printing, handful of people. It's like a pyramid scheme. It is the biggest Ponzi scheme, you see. And so for me, if any system that gets rid of the Ponzi schemes, that's all. That is what I am, on that side. At the same time, there are schemes and scams going on as well. And since it's a new space, there are so many scammers out there. So the whole idea for me is, when there are new people who are entering the space, let them know that do's and don'ts. Let them know the fundamentals, the basics of it, of the whole crypto space, right? The other part of the other category of people who are into the space is basically to cash out, okay? Something that you thought in December, okay? Nothing wrong with it, but I'm saying that become the part of the philosophy, become the part of the idea, and of course make the most out of it. Whenever you see the market is going up, if you can, make a profit, go ahead for it, right? But don't purely be driven by that gain, because that gain can cause you a lot of harms, because that is why we see a lot of pump and dump schemes, right? You have these companies coming up with their get rich coin and win-win coin, that coin, this coin, and what they do is their intention, motivation is only doubling the money, and so they need your money, right? They run Ponzi schemes. So be aware of that, so that's what I think. So these are the two categories of people that I have, and nothing wrong. I mean, you can be passionate about the whole crypto philosophy and you can still make the most out of it, but just don't be driven by the scam coins. is what I think.
Yeah.
And of course, these kind of and the best person that I found to get educated on crypto space is Andreas Antonopoulos, because that's the
Right.
first guy that I came across when I started my journey in 2016. I heard a lot of his lectures. I was very fortunate to meet him
Right.
at Mumbai. You know, so anyone who is entering into the space, do your own research, study more, spend more time on education. Don't just follow one person, right? Learn from them, but don't get influenced.
Yeah.
There's a difference between learning and getting influenced.
Exactly. That's an absolutely excellent point that you're making over here, and I'm glad that you brought up that distinction and that you've learned that
Yeah,
difference
yeah,
since you began, and that's the difference between people scamming and people being genuine.
correct.
I want to repeat that because that's also one of the main complaints that new people have. They say, but there's so many scams, there's so much stuff going on. And then people like you and I say, well, do your own research, do this and that. And people get disenfranchised. They get a little bit put off by it, by the work that they need to do.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that this is necessary. This is necessary, and here's why. Because there's no such thing as a free lunch, as economists say. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And more than that, I mean, if you want to get gold, if you want to dig for gold and get gold, well, when people say dig for gold, that implies that you need to dig for it. You need to dig through a bunch of dirt. And that's just the way it is in life in general. I mean, if you want to find your soulmate, the love of your life, you're going to have to go on a few bad dates, right? If you want to learn how to drive a stick shift car, you're going to stall out a few times, right? If you want to learn how to bike, you're going to end up with some badly scratched knees. It's just life from the time we're born to the time we get into crypto to the time we retire. All along the way we're going to have to dig through some stuff, and it's the same thing. There's always going to be challenges, and especially here in this space there's the scammers and whatnot. But one thing I also want to mention that's highly encouraging that I found throughout all my travels is that the majority of people who are in it for the good outweigh those that don't, by far. Even if it's something silly, like for example in Thailand there were these people, banana coin, a simple silly name. They didn't need to be honest, and I was honest with them too. They didn't need the blockchain for what they were doing. They were just publicizing by saying banana coin and by using that. But what they were trying to do was great, and that was to create sustainability in agriculture, to be able to have these bananas growing in a sustainable, great way and get them to the market so that the people who consume them, who eat these bananas, they know that it's organic and that it's good to eat for people. So everything along the way has a purpose.
I totally agree with you. I mean, you're the best example. Crypto community is also very kind and very humble that way, now, because I mean, I think you have mentioned this in your vlog as well, that every country that you travel to, the people were really kind to you, and when you spoke, when you shared the idea of Bitcoin, they were really very helpful. Uh, so that is one part of it which I see everywhere, like every part of the world. And the other thing that you also mentioned, that if you're not ready to put in efforts, if you're not ready to educate yourself, you're not ready to learn, then this is not for you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if someone's not willing to learn, then a great many things in life aren't for them.
That's so true, so
It
true.
also kind of
Yeah,
attitude. If you're not willing to do X, then you don't deserve Y.
yeah, yeah. So tell us, Rafael, what's your plan going ahead? I know that you'll be working on the documentary, but what are the other ways you are looking to contribute to the space, and what are you trying to build into the future? What's your future plan like into the space?
Sure. At the moment, the plan is to get the documentary wrapped up as soon as possible. There's a number of film festivals next year coming up: the Hong Kong International Film Festival, Berlin, Sundance. Toronto International Film Festival. I've already reached out to them. They've expressed interest in showing the documentary, which would be absolutely sensational because I believe that this documentary and the message that crypto will set us free is a message that needs to go beyond the crypto echo chamber. I think that the crypto community, I know that the crypto community is more than capable and more than willing to help get this message, this documentary out into the world, out in front of people who are being lied to. Here's what I mean by that. As I traveled, I found the same war, the same battle going on in every single country. And the battle was between truth and lies. The lies in America, for example, take the form of Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett or Jamie Dimon saying that Bitcoin's worthless gold, saying it's like trading baby brains. I mean, how childish is that, right? Saying that it's a poison, that it's rat poison. I mean, these are just propaganda and childish lies designed to get the people who hear these things just this emotional response without any thought to it, emotional response. And these kinds of people like Jamie Dimon have audiences of millions and millions and millions of people, and that's unfortunate. Those are the kind of lies that we're fighting against, because as I traveled in countries, Myanmar, India, Thailand, developing countries like that, as well as Switzerland and Germany, as well as these countries who are already wealthy. In all of these countries, the truth is that crypto is setting people free. It's setting people free from big banks, from fake debt, from all of these various things. Crypto is setting people free. And that's the message that we need to extend beyond the crypto echo chamber. We need to all band together and fight the lies, get that in front of people around the world. So the priority numero uno is definitely to wrap up the documentary. And the challenge right now is balancing between spending time on editing and spending time on normal everyday 9 to 5 work to put bread on the table. But no matter what the message is getting out there, if it takes me 2 3 months because of good donations versus 2 3 years because of working it on it myself, it's going to get out there. It needs to get out there.
No, I think it's gonna be a fantastic documentary. Because it's the title itself, that one Bitcoin traveling so many countries, and really spreading the word, talking about what's missing out there, the missing as in, yeah, I mean the freedom, kind of freedom, I would say, like you spoke about countries like Myanmar and others, so I think this message needs to go out. Okay. And I think people will be more than happy to to contribute and to donate and be a part of this story. And I'm sure this is going to be a hit for sure, because there are a couple of documentaries, but this is going to be slightly different. And by the way, all of these documentaries have been amazing, all of them.
Certainly, yeah. Banking on Bitcoin, rise and rise of Bitcoin. I love them all.
Yeah.
I love them all. They're so technical, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
You need to learn.
Yeah.
But I wanted to create a documentary about the people.
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to. That's really what this financial revolution
Yeah.
comes down to. It comes down to the people it helps.
Yeah.
Whether it's farmers in the Philippines or it's normal everyday people in Switzerland and Zug doing their thing. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm sure you must have seen this in the crypto community as well.
Yeah.
One thing that truly energizes me and enthuses me is seeing how many people want to create better platforms for the world, whether it's better financial things through the blockchain, or it's better supply chain management, or it's better social networks. Whatever it is they want to do, they want to create it out there. And especially people like yourself too, who want to spread the message, who have a good presence, compliment you on that, good presence, good voice that you've got going on, and they want to spread the message. Evangelists like that. Which leads me actually to a question that I had for you, and that's, during your time with this channel and in crypto, what have you discovered is like the underlying, the fundamental thing that kind of ties crypto people together? What have you seen? What's the message that?
I think so. One thing that I want to highlight here is the censorship. You know,
Okay.
yeah, and this has been the biggest issue, right? We all know the internet is here to stay, the social media is taking over, and this is getting bigger. But when this recent incident happened with Facebook, right? And
Hmm.
with Alex Jones, for that matter, right? Alex Jones, he got banned from three platforms in one day:
Yeah.
Apple, Facebook, and YouTube, right? That's quite alarming, right? This takes away the freedom. We all talk about the freedom of speech, but the whole internet right now is ruled by like a few companies, Google, and this is like the riskiest thing that we can ever have. So I think this is something that really drives people into crypto community. That okay, finally we can have a platform which can't be censored,
Right.
so everybody have freedom of speech, you know. Finally we can have money that can't be censored. Come on, we all know that the gold, you know, I mean, there was this tweet the other day on that said that don't forget that they took our gold and gave us the piece of paper, okay, but they can't take our bitcoin.
Right.
Because gold was physical, so they could take that, right? Bitcoin is like here, you can't take that. You can't even control it. It's
Right.
just a
That's
matter of downloading a wallet. So I think the biggest aspiring thing is the kind of freedom that it provides to every individual, and you know, taking them away from that banking. And we're completing, by the way, a decade of Lehman Brothers collapse. I think that was the biggest robbery ever. $600 billion stolen by Lehman Brothers, right? And
yeah.
there were no consequences for that, for doing such a big crime, right?
No, they just got golden parachutes.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone commits a fraud today, maybe a small way, they are like behind the bars. And 600 billion, that's the biggest crime, biggest robbery, and nothing happened. You know, so I think this is the most you know, message and most inspiring message that people have, and that, you know, keeps them into the space. And of course we are moving towards a decentralized platform. So we might have a decentralized Facebook, we might have a decentralized Instagram, we might have a decentralized Twitter, and the over and above, here we have an opportunity to invest into those platforms which earlier we couldn't, right?
Yeah.
A common man would not be able to invest into Facebook, because that is only for a bunch of people who are running venture capitalist firm. So they are already rich. Here is another
Right.
another chance for them to become more rich.
Right.
But with blockchain, that has changed now. Now it has gone to the common hands. Now, okay, you want to invest into this? Go ahead, do that. Do your research. Go ahead, do that. So I think this has been the biggest drive for the crypto space right now, and it's only gonna grow.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's an excellent point, especially censorship,
Yeah.
especially. And that's something that people don't necessarily take stock in.
As of now, yeah.
Like, like you mentioning that the internet, something that which we consider to be such a revolutionary technology and that helps us communicate all over the world, and yet that it can be centralized, that it can be controlled, is kind of a little mind bend for people to realize. Yeah.
It is. Rafal, it was amazing having you on my channel. Okay.
Agreed.
I won't take much of your time. Before we wrap up, okay, any message that you have for everyone who is into cryptocurrency space? People are still watching food and locals. Yeah, thank you. You're awesome. You're awesome, Rafal. Okay. So before
Thanks,
we
guys.
go, any message for crypto space and where people can follow you?
Absolutely. And that's a message to every single person listening right now.
Yeah.
That is to please, please spread the message that crypto can free people, that crypto is good. Whatever you can do to spread that message, to help that get out there. And just like you were saying earlier, to caution people to do their own research, You don't have to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
You don't have to deny that there's scams in it. You don't have to say it's this amazing thing. You can certainly acknowledge that there are problems, there are bad actors, etc. But overall, please keep spreading the message that bankers and the media are lying to people. They really are. And that they're using some pretty dirty tricks to do it.
Yeah.
Like even Jamie Dimon saying, oh, my daughter, she bought 2 Bitcoins and now she thinks she's smart. And this kind of sarcastic tone about her own daughter. I don't have words for it. It pisses me off that much. So to everyone out there listening, it's maybe difficult times for some people out there right now. Maybe you bought in to Bitcoin at above 10K and now it's pretty low. Keep hodling. One thing that I've learned through all the people that I've met is that this is all very cyclical and that eventually it'll all stabilize, and to not concentrate too much on the price. Please concentrate on all of the amazing technology that's coming out and the way that it's freeing people. So please do that. And then, of course, please subscribe both to the channel that you're already on, probably already subscribed to. Keep following this guy. He's a cool dude. He definitely gets it. Also some interesting mind stuff, like you were saying about censorship. That's fantastic too. And of course, if you have a little bit of time, definitely do check out my trailer and subscribe while you're at it over there. I will also keep trying to spread the message on a daily basis and just trying to get that documentary out there. So check it out, bitcoinaroundtheworld.com. From there, you can go to my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything's linked on there. So just bitcoinaroundtheworld.com.
Thank you so much, Rafael. So guys, go ahead and check that out, bitcoinaroundtheworld.com. And if you wish, you can donate and be a part of this amazing documentary, which will be coming out soon. I'm sure you're going to love it. And it was such a nice pleasure talking to you, Rafael. It was amazing having you and talking to you about all these blockchain cruise, your travel. And this is what I love about this community, you come across with like-minded people, you share ideas, and it's such a fantastic thing.
Right. Well, the pleasure was certainly mine as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me and putting up your question here. It was amazing. It wasn't possible without you. So Deepak says, thank you, Shiv, for getting Bitcoin Traveler. Great words. Thank you. Bitcoin is the future. The only thing that can kill Bitcoin is technology. Everything that's been killed has been killed by technology. Perfect. It's not going anywhere. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Rafael. And I'll see you soon. Take care.
Will do.
Bye-bye.
Take care, man.
So we just stopped the streaming.